So, this is take 2. I was already a few questions and more than 5 minutes in, and the daughter's phone camera decided to fail. So, let's start again. This means I get to answer these first 3 questions again. I'm so pleased. This is the answer video for the people that gave the questions people gave us for our reaching 100 subscribers. I didn't do the giveaway. We'll do that in a video late tomorrow. See, I said all this already, so I'm kind of agitated. But yeah, we'll figure out how to do the giveaway, and we'll do that tomorrow. And for those of you that live over the oceans, don't worry about it. We'll send it to you if you win. Live your own where you're not getting out of that if you win. I mean, who are we kidding? We all know it's going to be Faceless anyway. He wins all the giveaways. For the record, Jay, I'm 0 for 66 on Goodreads. So let's get into this. I have 8 viewers that asked questions. Some of them asked more than one. So here we go. Tad, at Tad Reads Books and Stuff, in a hidden dig at the daughter. Make more, Tad. Make more. Are you over 50 years old? No, not yet. I just turned 49. So I'm like 11 months and 2.5 weeks away from 50. Oh, and this is for everybody to enjoy. Daughter, don't answer my questions for me unless I ask. In the first take, she answered that one for me. Don't do that this time, please. Okay? Okay. Good friend, real life friend. I mean, you're all real life friends, but like a in-person friend, Ryan Nermy. He has a channel that I'll link below. All these channels will be linked below. But his channel is mainly scenery around where he lives and Call of Duty, I think. Kill shot videos. So if you're into that, please go check him out. His question is, have I read any manga other than Hellsing? Because recently I finished Hellsing. Yes. Before I started the BookTube channel 2.5 years ago or so, I struggled through Death Note on the Kindle because it was in the top 100 greatest graphic novels list that I'm reading through. And I feel that I wasn't a big fan of the manga format on the Kindle. I got confused. I wasn't really ready for it. Sorry. Excuse me, everybody. I wasn't really ready for it. And that's not really a beginner manga. Not at all. So I convinced a good friend, Wicked Pluto, for her 100 subscribers celebration, to do a manga for beginners, which she did. And that's where Hellsing was. So, okay, my first manga that I read technically was Death Note, but I'm going to reread it because I didn't quite get it. So my first genuine manga that I've read is Hellsing. And then just recently I finished Goodnight Pun Pun. So that's my mangas so far. Roy, from Roy Reads Anything, asks, what is my ideal length of book? I would say between 300 and 400 pages. Anything less than that is, in my opinion, hard to really make you care about the characters and also get the plot rolling and, you know, and keep you entertained with the descriptions. And anything more than that, see, this is where the video died last time. So are we still good?
Mm-hmm.
Good. She gets to live for now. And anything more than 400, seriously better have the writing chops to get it done. Like with good descriptions and good character development and a great plot. And don't pooch the ending like Stephen King likes to do. So, you know, books don't need to be 800,000-900,000 pages if you can't if you're not talented enough to get there. Don't just write it to do it. Okay, moving on. But yeah, 300 to 400 pages is just wheelhouse. That's probably wheelhouse for more than one person. By the way, off topic for everybody that's listening, I think Jack just ran through and is gonna make his presence felt again.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay, these next few questions are from Livery Omer. Number 1, do I have a favorite manga? Wait. I think that's, I mistyped. Do I have a favorite anime, I think? Well, my favorite manga so far, I'll just answer both because I wrote it wrong. And this format is really weird. It mushed them all together in the email. My favorite manga so far of the, I guess, 2 that I've actually read is Hellsing. Anime, aside from a few episodes of Naruto, like 15 years ago, no. And yes, I am interested. I'm probably going to watch Hellsing because I enjoyed the book. But if you have any recommendations that aren't actually mangas that I can read first, then sure, bring them on. Have I traveled abroad? No. I have been to just over the border in Mexico as a mistake. Maybe a story for another day. And I've been to Canada quite a few times. But other than that, I've never been out of my home country. And if not, where would I like to go? Well, I would like to see Ireland because we are part Irish. I'd like to go to Germany, have some authentic German food because we're very German. Basically that. I mean, I used to want to go to Egypt, but I kind of feel like that's almost like tourist destination number 1 for Americans that don't go to Europe. Is let's go see the pyramids. And I'm not really a tourist type. I kind of want to just go try some food and see the places where my, is it ancestors?
Mm-hmm.
Ancestors came from. Okay, now this, me and the doctor are both going to answer because he asked it of the whole channel, even though the Groz mother and AJ aren't here right now. What are our pros and cons of having the entire family participate in a channel?
Pros, you get more than one opinion. There's that fun family dynamic.
Which, by the way, we don't edit. When you see one of our videos, even if it's just the 2 of us, or if you get all 4, or bonus if you get the Groz father as well, you get us in a genuine family atmosphere. And I think that's kind of unique.
Mm-hmm.
We don't edit out the parts where we argue or get impatient or glare at each other because it's more real. Continue.
And it's bonding time, I guess, for all of us.
Right.
But the cons are, it's really hard not to talk over each other.
Which one of us of the 4 legitimately, genuinely loathes and hates being talked over? I feel that one of the cons, is
You're excused.
trying to keep everybody on target with like book club projects, or if we're doing a video together, trying to keep everybody going on the same road. So basically it's just the organizational part. But by and large, it's mostly pros. Because like the doc just said, we more time together, and the multiple opinions, and offshoot of the multiple opinions is you've got 3 generations talking. You've got a child of the 50s, a child of the 70s, a child of the 80s, and then a child of the 2000s. and you get all four of our opinions, and that's I think that's extremely cool and unique. I'm pretty happy with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Thank you for all three of those questions, Liv or June, whichever you want me to say. Okay. I'm saving one for the end because it's going to be an interesting discussion. So, Writing for Jesus, Nikki Mulatto, she's an author. I'll be reading 2 of her books in August. Asked, what is my favorite Marvel movie? Okay. I have to preface this by saying I have not seen a Marvel movie since Captain Marvel. So I haven't seen Endgame or anything after. I know, I'm behind the times. But I will stick with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I won't go into like the X-Men movies or the original Spider-Man. You know, I won't do that. I'll stick to the MCU. And my personal favorite of those is going to be the Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I love superheroes, obviously. But I also really appreciate a good thriller. But mostly thrillers today are about like the CIA or the FBI or some spy or somebody that takes on a whole nation by himself, and I'm just like, oof. So, but Captain America: The Winter Soldier takes what's good about all of those genres and puts them in one movie, and it's really well done. I'm not going to get into this as a review of that movie, but that's my favorite Marvel movie. Plus, I am a male. I'm sorry, I notice things. In my opinion, that's the best hairstyle that Scarlett Johansson has had as Black Widow. She's always got, if you notice, she's always got a different one, and that was the best in my opinion. She also asked, "What is my favorite Marvel villain?" All right. Now I'm going to answer this with 2 different answers. I'm going to answer, my first one is going to be from the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then my second answer is going to be my favorite villain from the outside of the MCU. So inside the MCU, of the movies that I've seen, I am going to go with, tough because most of them are like Freak of the Week. They're in one movie, they get beat, and they're gone. And it kind of feels easy to say Thanos, and there has not yet been a good Doctor Doom, which is sad. Hopefully in the new one coming out, Doctor Doom is good. I think my favorite portrayal of a character in the Marvel movies is going to be Michael Keaton as the Vulture. I think that it was almost like they made the Vulture character, but within it was also the Green Goblin character, because I don't know, I just felt like he was kind of both characters in one, and he's awesome. So that's my favorite MCU villain. See, I would have said Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, but that's not MCU. Now the comic books, or maybe the Netflix Marvel universe, because those shows are spectacular. I don't want to hear nothing against Iron Fist and Luke Cage. They were perfect for what they are. Those are street level heroes. But I'm gonna go with, or for outside the MCU. Oh, and I'm answering these kind of on the fly. There's only one that I made a list of beforehand, because I had to. But outside the MCU, let's see. I'm going to go to the comic books. Because my all-time favorite superhero is a street-level hero. Daredevil. And my all-time favorite bad guy is Bullseye from those comic books. Although if I was forced to pick an honorable mention, it would be Magneto, but not. I mean, I guess Ian McKellen did good, but that. Anyway, but I hope that
Captain Cold is rolling in his icy grave.
that's not Marvel. That's DC.
Oh.
So take it back.
I take it back.
Yeah, you just learned who my favorite DC villain is. Leonard Snart, Captain Cold. Definitely not. There are no strings on me. Okay, so hopefully that answered. Hopefully you like those answers. All right, Bart Bart Blue. Sorry, Bart, I almost did it. I'm a book rising faniac. Bart from Bart Blue asked a few questions. First off, have I ever been published? Because he notices that I like to do poetry. I have. I have been published twice in poetry anthologies. No, go away. Go away. Go on. We don't need cat interference. I have been published twice in poetry anthologies. I think they're both like vanity presses, but hey, I'm into poetry books. And then where it comes to poetry and short fiction, or flash fiction, however you want to say it, I have been published 16 times. All 16 are on online magazine sites. And only once, though, I have been paid once for a short story. I mean, technically it was a contest, and I won second place. And I got a $10 gift card to spend wherever I wanted. So, and if anybody wants to read anything that I've been published, cats are not giving up.
Mm-mm.
If anybody wants to read anything, let me know. I'll put my email in the description box. Send me an email and ask if you want to read anything. I mean, I would love to have a poetry book or a short fiction book. That would be so cool.
Of course, it's you.
Anyway, Bart also asked, and this was for each member of the GKBC, all four of us, if we could become one character from a book we've read for one day, who would we become? The Groz mother said Rhea from a book titled Rhea by Russ Martin. AJ said Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind. The daughter?
Squirrel Flirt from Warrior Cats.
Oh my god, another cat. And then I would like to be, and I'm doing this on the fly, so let me think about this for a second. I think I'd like to be, no, because that's a book series, and so I'm not going to say that. I was going to say Chet Morton from the Hardy Boys, but I said one book. So instead I am going to say, why not? That sounds like fun. No. Yeah? Yeah, let's do it. Piscine from Life of Pi. I think it would be kind of cool for one day to be out on that lifeboat with Richard Parker the tiger, just trying to survive and like coexist. Because because you know you have to count on each other. I don't know. That might be kind of neat.
Now we have to choose one from just one book and not a series?
No, that's fine. Squirrel Flight has his own book. Her own book.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Bart, his final question, and it's kind of funny that he asks me this because I asked him this on his, I think it was 200 subscriber special. What are my top 5 Hardy Boy books? Okay. Now, I have a number 1. I do. Number 1 by far. The other 4 are interchangeable. So I'll say those first. Number 20 okay, it's book number 21, Clue of the Broken Blade. I think that's pretty cool. Number 27, Secret of Skull Mountain. Number 33, The Yellow Feather Mystery. And then number 41, The Clue of the Screeching Owl. Those are interchangeable with each other. But my all-time favorite Hardy Boy book, I've read this individual book. I mean, I've read the whole series like 10 times. But this book alone, I've probably read since I was 5. I've probably read it 50, 75 times, maybe more. I can probably, there was a time when I could have probably like recited the first chapter. And that is book number 8, The Mystery of Cabin Island. I don't know, it's just, I love it. It's the first book I can actually remember reading. So, if that tells you anything. Okay, Bookstalgic Farah asked me, what is my favorite place I've ever visited or traveled to? Okay, that's 2 different questions, really, so I'm going to answer both. Visited, Ludington, Michigan. I read about it when I was a kid, in The Mystery of the Fog Man or something like that. Always wanted to go there, and then went there. And I've been back a couple times. It's got a tourist town, which is pretty neat, with a bunch of like artisans and crafters and stuff. It's got a neat little food shack on the beach. You've got the sunset over Lake Michigan. You've got the ferry going over to Wisconsin. And you've got a half-mile walk out into the water, on the breakwater, to a lighthouse. It's an amazing little town. Now, traveled to Montana, Butte, Montana. I have got an uncle that lives there, and we've been there quite a few times. My dad, my mom, and I. And there was actually a time when my first marriage fell apart, and I was drunk, violent, and suicidal. Where I thought, well, I'll just go finish my life out there, because I mean, you know, something about Montana. So there you go. Number 2, what is my ultimate dream job? I'm telling you what, you could look at me, you could listen to my videos, you could listen to me talk, and if you had 1,000 guesses, I bet it would take, or I don't know how many guesses it would take you, but it would take you a long time to guess what I want, what my dream job is, what I've always wanted to be. When I was little in kindergarten and first grade, and they wanted us to draw what we were going to be, I always drew the same thing. Well, and one year I wanted to be Spider-Man, but that's, kids are stupid. I mean, everybody wants to be a superhero at one point. But my dream job, ever since I was little, was farmer. I wanted to be a farmer. Be out there on the big tractor, the combine, just planting crops and taking care of the animals. Just never worked out. And then her last question is, who are some of my favorite authors? Chuck Klosterman, Stephen King, Chantal Nautilus, Dean Koontz, Dan Simmons, getting a real taste for Robert McCammon. whoever was behind the Stratemeyer Syndicate who wrote the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew books. That'll do for now. And then her last question is, what is my favorite book from the Reading List Project so far? Well, so far I am about a third of the way through Beloved, so I can't count that. We haven't read A Suitable Boy yet. I would say, other than the actual book, The Reading List, which is like the third best book, fourth best book I've ever read, or, of mine, I would say it would have to be Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Or To Kill a Mockingbird. One of those two. I mean, I've read To Kill a Mockingbird about 10 to 15 times. I don't reread books much, but there are some that I do. They're comforting. But yeah, probably Rebecca, though. Yeah. All right. And then I saved Jay at Faceless Book Reviews for last because his last question is... Sorry for the silence. Our cat just had a mini seizure, and it's like he something just crawled on him.
He's old too, so it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. His first question was, "What's my favorite food?" The answer to that is simple. Yes. I love all food. I mean, look at me. But if I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, I could so give you a movie quote right now. I mean, it's nothing I would eat, but okay. Pez. Cherry flavored Pez. Now, that's a trivia question for all of you who watch. No Googling, no cheating. What movie is that from? But my favorite food, I gotta be real, right, Em? Evie, sorry. Fried stuff with cheese.
Yep.
There's nothing better. What state am I in? Boy, is that a loaded question. The geographical state that I live in, Michigan. The state that I'm in, anxiety, depression, pain, anger. Seriously, this kind of harkens back to Nikki at Writing for Jesus. My favorite line from the MCU is, Dr. Banner, don't you think you should get angry first? Well, that's my secret. I'm always angry. That's me. I keep it calm with sarcasm and wit. Not very good wit, but yeah, I live in Michigan. And the final question. He would like to know about my addiction and my recovery. Okay. Now, I've had two substance addictions, and I've somehow managed to overcome both of them, even though they're both still very near the surface. Depending on the mood of the day, they threaten to push through more. But the first one started when my first marriage fell apart. She cheated, flaunted it, played games with me, lied to me, and just wrecked my whole everything. So I think I just mentioned it. I became drunk, violent, and suicidal. I didn't really want to just kill myself, but I was trying to push myself to death through being drunk and being violent at the same time. Getting into fights, didn't care if I got hurt. And there really is nothing scarier than a drunk idiot coming at you who's not afraid to be hurt. Because what are you going to do to him? You can't stop him unless you knock him out or kill him. And that's what I was going for. And I did that for about a year and a half. 2 years. And then one day I woke up and I heard a voice and saw a hand reaching for me. And that was AJ. This says Pilastus. It's Finnish for salvation. And while, yes, I do consider God to be the salvation, AJ was my personal salvation. And probably, yes, some of you will say God sent her to me, and that's fine. But hers is the voice that I hear even now when I get into when the red veil drops or the demon fog threatens. I hear her voice. The thing with beating, or I mean, because you never truly beat it, it's always in you. The thing with pushing back an addiction is you gotta find something worth living for that's more important than yourself. Because you will never, I'm sorry if somebody has a different view, this is my view. Unless you are incredibly strong, which I'm not, then you will never find that strength within. I mean, you will find it within, but you will never find it on your own. You have to find something worth living for. Maybe that is you. To each their own. For me, it was AJ. And then 15 years later, when we were having marital problems and I started, I wasn't drinking again. Although I did have some setbacks with being drunk. I can honestly tell you to today, on June 24th, 2024, I guess it's now June 25th, but or almost, that I have been sober from alcohol for 13 years. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, when AJ and I were having marital problems and some things were happening, I started abusing pills. Didn't matter what. Honestly, a day at work, I would get there and I would go through my cocktail. I would take 3 500 milligram Vicodins, a Xanax, a Valium, and then later in the day I would do it again. I would do that twice a day in an 8-hour shift, just so that I could disappear and not hear the cacophony of bullcrap that was holding me down. And I don't want to really get into what caused all that, but just know that AJ and I came back together. We found each other again. We rediscovered the true love that is there. And we actually renewed our vows in 2016, and since July, we renewed our vows in November of 2016, but in July of that year is the last time that I got high on pills. So I've been sober from alcohol for 13 years, and I've been sober from pills for 8. But not a day goes by, even in good days, where there's not some form of need. And I look at AJ and I look at my daughter and I realize why I don't need that. Even when I'm mad, even when I'm upset, I can even deal with panic attacks while I'm out now. I get in our bubble and it helps me breathe. Now, I was ready to leave in 2016, and the doctor gave me some good advice. I'm not going to get into what that was. That was between me and her, or her and I, whatever. But basically, her advice saved our family. And now, so now I know I don't really need it. It's a daily battle. I don't want anybody to think that you can overcome an addiction, because you can't. It's always going to be in you. It's always going to want to come out. And it's easy. It's so easy be like, okay, just once. I'm having a bad day. You know, I had to leave the house today. I got in a fight with my wife. The kids being an idiot. I'm sick of pets. You know, fine. Just today. I'll just disappear for one day. And then before you know it, it's every day again. Doesn't take much. So, you asked, so hopefully that wasn't too real for anybody. But that's my questions, or that's the questions that I was asked. Like I said, I'll link all these channels below. Go check them all out. And tomorrow I'll try and have the giveaway up. One of you 8 will win a illustrated copy of Salem's Lot by Stephen King. It has been read, but only only once. So, thank you all for the questions. I'm so grateful to everybody for your subscription, your subscribership, your viewership. Another cat.
Hi, Merlin.
That's Merlin. I'm Arthur. Get it? And don't forget the trivia question, everybody. If you know what it is, say so in the comments. If I can only have one food for the rest of my life, easy. Pez. Cherry flavored Pez. And so that's actually the mannerism too. So I'm gonna get off the soapbox, I guess. Hope I answered everybody's questions to their satisfaction. Jay, if you give me your information, I will send you my social security number and my bank card. And I will see all of you down the road.
Reading more.